Morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone watching wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our episode number 15 already of our weekly series, What's Your Spark? Today I'm here with Emily Crookston, a ghostwriter and social media strategist from North Carolina, United States. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. Great to be here, Regina.
Yes, it is, isn't it? And I'm here today among my moving boxes. So if you see any boxes in the background, please just ignore. I'm moving this week. So it is what it is. We are life, and this is life. So a big shout out, first of all, to Michael Sakai, who introduced us and who was on this show with me a few weeks ago. Before Emily shares about her spark, I need a quick word with all our beloved audience. If you're watching this, please support this show by hitting that like button. Do share your comments and questions, even if you couldn't catch it live and you're watching the recording. Doesn't matter. We're still going to go back, I promise, at some point and look at your comments and reply. Those of you who have seen previous interviews, you know that we are here to inspire. So this is another episode for all of you who like to be inspired by other women who are contributing their insights, their creativity, their wisdom, their expertise, their stories, their brilliance. In a word, their spark. Because fresh inspiration helps us explore new possibilities for ourselves or just walk on our path with fresh, positive energy. And can't we all use that? Through these interviews with women around the world, we can grow from and with each other so we can fully live our own spark, which then leads to more passionate, purpose-driven, and impactful lives. Let us all remember that each of us has a special spark, and we're meant to sparkle it out to the world. Shine with our brilliance as entrepreneurs, as employees, as speakers, in whatever capacity. And today it is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Emily Crookston. Emily is the owner and decider of all things. I love that title, decider of all things, at the Pocket PhD. She's a ghostwriter and social media strategist. I'm sure many other things too. Look up her full LinkedIn profile after our show. But now listen up, because Emily has sure a lot of really interesting things to share with us. Emily, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, I'm always ready to rock.
Okay, so
Awesome.
here's my first question. What's your spark?
Yes, I love this way of asking this question. People ask all the time, what's your purpose? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? But I love the question of what's your spark, because I think, you can't have a fire without a spark, right? And
Right.
so I really like thinking about it in this way. And I appreciate you prompting me to ask this question. I would say that my spark is connecting people with ideas. I used to be a philosophy professor, and I've always been an idea person, I suppose. Ideation is one of my Clifton strengths. I love to play with ideas, but more than that, I love introducing new ideas to people. And so when I was a professor, that was about introducing these philosophical ideas to college freshmen, young students who'd never heard about philosophy, just like I was when I discovered philosophy. And now, as a ghostwriter, I get to help people with their ideas, make them, position them well, and put them out there into the world so that they can reach their audiences and connect their ideas with people who need to hear them. So yeah, I think it's a really great and fun. I'm just I pinch myself every day. This is what I get to do for a living. Yeah.
That's awesome. Isn't it great when we get out of bed in the morning and we you said that before, but people ask you why we get out of bed in the morning, but when we get out of bed in the morning excited, it's nicer, right?
Yes,
It's nice to
absolutely.
start the day in that way. Yes, absolutely. So how then did you find your spark, Emily?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've always been kind of an idea person, so I think the
Mhm.
spark has always kind of been in my heart in some way, shape, or form. But when I was ready to leave academia, when I was ready to be done being a professor, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I happened to find somebody who let me be her mentor. And I realized that I have a talent for writing, and I have a really conversational tone that's helpful. And I think that's in part what made me a really good professor as well, is that I could take these complex ideas and make them easier for people to understand. So, I think just through that process of trying to understand what I want to do and trying to understand how my skills and talents could transfer to the business world, I just discovered that this is the thing that I'm really good at and that other people find valuable. I think that that's a key to figuring out finding your purpose. As much as passion can drive a business, you also need to connect that with what do other people find valuable about what I'm doing. And I think that that's kind of the beauty of finding your spark in that way.
Yeah, because that's how you get to use your spark, right? So then that leads me actually to my next question. How are you making an impact through your spark? How do you serve others through it?
Right. Well, you mentioned that I'm a ghostwriter. I mentioned that as well. I'm also a social media strategist. So I'm helping people figure out how to up their game on LinkedIn in particular. And, I think when new entrepreneurs or even people who've been at this for a while and decide that they want to start using a new social media channel like LinkedIn, it can be intimidating. It can be hard to know, how do I put myself out there? Isn't this a professional networking group, right? Don't I have to always have my perfect professional face on all the time, right? Do I have to just talk about my job and what I'm
No
doing?
moving boxes.
Right. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about how the sun is in my way this morning, right? None of that vulnerability stuff, right? And I just think that what I've found using LinkedIn for myself is that people are hungry for content that is not necessarily so stuffy, and they're looking for people to talk about, they're telling their origin stories and telling about how their learning disability helps them in their business. We're hungry for stories, and if you can figure out what your big story is, the thing that people really gravitate toward, you can you can really just take over LinkedIn if you want. And I've seen it happen, and I've seen people do it. So I think that that's how I'm right now most using my spark, most figuring out how to connect ideas with people. It's like, well, how do you make yourself, put yourself out there as the face of your business? And how do you grow your LinkedIn presence and grow your audience in a way that makes sense for your business? So that's the main impact I'm seeing.
Right. That's amazing, Emily. Super impressive. So thank you for that. And yes, it's about authenticity, right? Because that's how people connect with us. It is. Well, I have so many adventure stories to tell. I can't even put them, I should have put them in a book someday. But yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. Sorry, but not immediately. I just have some other priorities right now, but it's definitely already on my mind. So thank you so much for sharing your spark with us, Emily. Is there anything you would like to add? Where can people find you?
Well, you can always find me on LinkedIn. I'm there every day. My website is thepocketphd.com. And those are the main ways to find me. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And, I also, we had another conversation before and found out a little more about each other. It was a wonderful conversation. If anybody in the audience would like such a conversation with Emily, please do contact her. She is just brilliant. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to have you on today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I think it's a great little series, and I love the questions that you're asking, and it's so fun to learn about other people's entrepreneurial journeys and stories. So yeah.
Yes. And we'll have also some employees. It's mostly been entrepreneurs, but also employees. And we were supposed to have on a lady from a university in Zambia that I have collaborated with in the past, and I'm still actually collaborating with for webinars. she just had something important come up, so we had to postpone that. But we'll have lots of very diverse and different guests on. So stay tuned for them for future shows. But before we close, here's how I choose to sparkle with my brilliance and make a difference through it. As a multicultural transformational leadership coach, I help mid-tier women employees achieve their next career goal so they can fulfill their potential. And in this way, increase their income, influence, and impact, because impact is what we all want to make, isn't it? As an international inspirational speaker and training facilitator, I love to inspire and teach about how to gain greater visibility in your organization by enhancing your unique business presence, practicing a self-empowering mindset and heart set, and bringing out your very authentic and unique brilliance so you can sparkle it out to the world, and as a result, increase your success and, of course, live a more fulfilled life. In fact, tomorrow I will be starting a brand new weekly show on Win-Win Women. So that's, again, winwinwomen.com. Check it out. The show link will be there by tomorrow. It might not be there today yet, but it will be there tomorrow. I promise. My show is up at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. And the title is exactly the same as for this LinkedIn Live. What's your spark? Because I think this is such an important question for everybody, and especially also for us women to ask ourselves. So thank you again so much, Emily. And thanks to all the unique, brilliant people watching. Yes, Emily.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Yeah, of course. We trust the show inspired you all to dig deeper with your own spark and fulfill your potential in this way. Please support our show by hitting the like button, and we'd also love to answer your questions or comments. If you feel inspired, feel free to share the show on your LinkedIn newsfeed. And definitely hop over to my YouTube channel, Regina Huber, where I will post this recording shortly. You can also catch all the previous episodes there, as well as other amazing free video resources. See you next Tuesday when I will be chatting here with Jennifer Valina in Maryland. And Jennifer was the one who graciously actually introduced me to Maiko. So here's, the chain reaction, the ripple
Full circle.
effect,
Yeah,
right?
Love it.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I was, Jennifer and Balina were at BCG together in the past in San Francisco. That's how we met. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Now, as always, make it a beautiful and fruitful day. And I remain powerfully in service.